Morning and welcome to the Principal's Message. This week I'd like to focus on the performing arts faculty within the school, and it's a great privilege that we've been joined by Amy from Year 10, Taylor from Year 12, Alistair from Year 8 and Mr Cotton, who's Learning Leader of Performing Arts. Paul, maybe if we could start with you. Where are we at the moment? Where are we shooting today?
We're in the Arc, and it's a beautiful building. We're so fortunate to have such an amazing resource for these students. The joy of it is also that we've got the Old Market Theatre next door, we've got the Peter Harris Studio, so we've got the opportunity to do this 470-seat beautiful space. We can go into the Old Market Theatre and make as much mess as we like, as long as we clean it up, for those more intimate shows. And then we've got the opportunity in the Peter Harris Studio to do really small, intimate classroom work, to do some dance work, and explore what character can be in an intimate space.
Yeah. So the performing arts faculty, the learning area within the school, what does that include in terms of disciplines?
So we're looking at music and theatre. We're running both music industry in the VET course, we're running theatre studies and drama all the way through the school, music all the way through the school, and then when we get to the VCE levels, we're running those industry courses as well. And a space like this also gives us an opportunity outside of the classroom to look at technical theatre and all those facilities that are involved in that.
And Amy and Alistair and Taylor are involved in the performing arts area of the school, and it might be interesting to hear from you about what you're doing in performing arts. So Amy, maybe if we start with you, what are the sort of things that you've been involved in the performing arts faculty since you've been in high school?
So Year 7 I did the review, which was kind of just a mixture of little skits from certain musicals and whatnot that was all put together. So that was a really good introduction to performing arts. Year 8 we did a pantomime, which was so much fun, like amazing memories from Panto. Last year I was involved in The Wedding Singer, which was the senior production. That was so incredible to get experience and knowledge from the Year 12s.
Had you done much theatre before you came here in high school?
I did a little bit of singing at primary school, but nothing like a production.
Quite on this scale, yeah. So this year, what does this year hold for you in performing arts?
This year we're doing The Wiz, and I've been cast as the role of the lion. So it's going to be great to get to know my fellow cast members.
Because there's students in the senior production from years 9 to year 12, aren't there? So it's really a big cross-section of the school. Yeah. Alistair, maybe for you, you're in year 8 and you've just started on this journey, but you love this space, don't you?
Yeah.
Can you tell us about what you did last year in performing arts and I think also why you love it so much?
Yeah, last year we did pantomime, and that was Cinderella. So it's kind of like a performance of a classic fairy tale with a bit of a weird twist. So... and
what part did you play?
I played one of the Three Musketeerish characters, Dandini, which is the prince's assistant and the king's assistant and the prince's best friend.
Yeah. And what is it about working in this space that you love so much?
The idea of everybody being able to laugh and just have fun.
It's about the fun and the joy of it, isn't it? Yeah. Taylor, there's much more to performing arts than necessarily being on the stage, isn't there? And you've been heavily involved in this area of the school, but in a backstage capacity, haven't you?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you've done in the performing arts faculty?
Yeah, so I've done lighting and audio crew in the productions. I also do assemblies, running them behind the scenes.
And so for the Wiz this year, are you going to be running back of house?
Do audio, yeah.
And Paul, that's really part of our philosophy here, isn't it, of student involvement in productions?
It's absolutely key. It's about taking Taylor, who walks in the door, and saying, we believe that you're capable of doing this, giving them the skills and then gradually letting go over the course of maybe the 6 months of rehearsal till there are no staff backstage and there are no staff looking over Taylor's shoulder. It's Taylor pressing the buttons, it's Taylor making the decisions.
And it's one of the things I love about what we do in performing arts here is that on show night, there are no adults in the bio box. There's no adults back of house. It's all student run, isn't it? you're changing microphones, you're working costume changes. And I think philosophically, that's really important for us, isn't it? Is that this is a student space. As I say to Paul, we don't have many Mr. G's here, do we, Paul?
No, we don't. by design. It's about trusting students.
Yeah. Amy, you're also involved, we've talked mainly about the theatre side of things, but you're also involved in the music side as well. You love singing.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you do in the music side of things at school here in Performing Arts?
So last year in our Year 9 music class, we got the opportunity to perform at several little gigs around the school and the den and that sort of thing. So it's really building confidence in people. Also, I do vet music, so that's performance. And it's learning practical skills and what we need to be good musicians. And it's a little community. It's just all the music.
Paul, I was looking at, when I walk through Performing Arts and I look at the number of students that have individual music lessons every week, it's almost a quarter of the school.
Yeah, it is.
Have a music lesson every week.
Yeah, it's normal to learn an instrument.
From voice, which is what you're doing, to guitar, to drums, to everything that makes it sound, isn't it? And playing music, and this is coming from a scientist that was never really terribly musical, the joy that I see in people's lives when music enters it is really wonderful, isn't it? I know in choir, senior choir, which you're a member of, people love going to senior choir, don't they?
It's a sense of singing in a room full of people. You can't really get the feeling anywhere else. Like when you're singing 3-4 part harmonies in a choir and when you hit the right note and it just sounds amazing, that feeling is indescribable.
Yeah. Alistair, can you tell us about this year for you? You're back in the review again, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
What's the review? What's happening in the review this year?
So this year we're doing Robin Hood. So there's really high participation levels this year. So PC's had to introduce even more characters than.
So how many students have we got doing
We've
7 and 8 review?
got over 60 at the moment. So we're sitting there writing some of the worst dad jokes you'll ever hear to try and give as many students an opportunity to actually get on that stage and understand what timing means and what it means to just breathe with an audience. It's quite exciting.
And Alistair, what's it like the second year round? Because doing something for the first time, you're really new to it. Coming and doing it the second time round, what did you learn from last year?
Last year we, like the year 7s, so my year, learnt all the skills and stuff. So this year for us it's more like building skills, but it's also fun to see the year 7s experiencing everything for the first time and
So remembering you were like that last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, and just like when you just see them making friends and stuff for the first time, just people that they wouldn't usually hang out with, but yeah.
Taylor, how did you get started in the bio box?
I came to assembly one day. Miss Vitriste came up to me and said, Mr. Cotton has asked if you'd like to go in the bio box for assemblies.
So this was not something that you were sort of seeking out, or just an opportunity that was presented to you?
I was just picked, and then I went up and met Andrew and they started me on the slideshow, and now I do heaps
Because
of stuff.
up in the bio box, it's amazingly technical, isn't it? I mean, we've got industry standard equipment up there, haven't we?
Yeah, it's delightful. And it's a digital space, which is what you're growing up with. And we can just transfer that digital space and the way you think into the bio box. It's fantastic.
So how long did it take you to learn how to make it all work?
I'm still learning.
Still learning, yeah.
Yeah.
And is it something, I know that you want to go to university and study engineering and things like that, but do you think you might continue to live in this space beyond school?
Certainly. Every production I question my career decisions. I'm like, should I just do this?
Because I suppose it's about doing something you love, isn't it? Amy, what do you think? Do you see a future for yourself beyond school in this sort of space?
I'd like to hope so. It's just something I love doing, and I'd rather make a career out of something that I can enjoy than something that will get me more money, I feel.
Yeah.
So I would love to make a career out of it.
Yeah, I suppose the key is following a passion, isn't it? Paul, going back to you, where did music start for you? If you think back to music and your beginnings, you're a cellist.
Yeah, I
suppose
went through
by
university
training.
playing cello for a couple of years and then moved into composition and playing guitar and bass. And it started for me in primary school in grade 3. I think I first picked up a cello and guitar not long after that. And it was for me an opportunity to connect. So
Yeah.
I had that typical played a bit of footy, played a bit of cricket, played a bit of music upbringing. And it was the same sort of collaborative, collegiate idea that existed in all of those spaces. And in the end, music just spoke to me in some way, which is why I pursued it.
Yeah,
It resonated with me as a person.
Yeah, and I think that's it's a really good lesson for everyone, isn't it? Is find something that you're passionate about and then pursue it, because we all want lives and careers that have meaning, don't we? And I think that's something that happens really beautifully in the performing arts space. Is that search for passion and look, sometimes we don't always have to do the things that we're passionate about as our job. We can continue to do them in a recreational sense and things like that. And you see a lot of people who are strong musicians who have other careers as well, and that's really great in that space. Now, Amy, we're Amy and Taylor, we're heavily into rehearsal time, aren't we, for The Wiz?
Yeah.
That really starts kicking off now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What is the lead up, the next 3 months before we hit opening night? What does that look like for you?
So for the next few weeks, it's going to be developing characters and kind of working out blocking, so where we're standing on stage and that sort of stuff. And then we have, in the middle holidays, we have set construction. So everyone comes in and we build a set together. And then in the last week of those 3, we have intense rehearsals, which is where everyone comes in and we workshop and we clean and we polish.
Yeah. And Taylor, do you sort of wait a while while they get their act together before you start hopping in and working out how things work in the box?
Yes.
So when do things start to hot up for you in terms of the production?
I probably watched the show for the first time at the end of June,
Yeah.
and then through term 3 and the holidays is when we start.
Yeah. So you then
doing
start
stuff.
mapping out audio cues and lighting cues and things like that.
Yeah.
Alistair, 7 and 8 review is sort of slightly later in the year, isn't it?
Yeah.
For that production. You guys are rehearsing every week, aren't you?
Yep. So for the first term and a half, we've just been like building skills and just acting, just skills for the performance. And then later into the year, term 2, term 3, we're doing blocking, rehearsal, and we work out the cast.
And everyone gets to go. That's part of our philosophy too, isn't it?
Absolutely. If you walk in the door, you're in it.
If you walk in the
Yep.
door, you're in it. And I think that's great as well, that everyone gets their moment on the stage or behind the stage or in the bio box. So maybe, Paul, if we could finish with you, why do you think music and performing arts is so important for our students, for our community, for the world?
I think there's a lot of stories going around at the moment, and stories and culture are about our identity. And the way that we present stories reflects what we believe in, what we value. Entertainment is becoming such a major part of our life. Entertainment is becoming such a major part of how we go about communicating what's important. So for these students, what I hope for is their capacity to walk in someone else's shoes, to feel empathy, to understand a different viewpoint, to sometimes just pick up an instrument and play it because it feels good, because it's just beautiful to be involved in something aesthetic and to be in touch with that side of your world. For other students, it's about realising that recreation is a good thing, and our ability to actually just provide entertainment for other people, it's beautiful.
And Amy and Alistair and Taylor, maybe your final word. What would you say to people if they were thinking about coming into this space and being involved in it? What would you say to them?
I'd say just give it a go. Over the last few years, my confidence has boosted so much, and I don't think I would have been able to do that without this space. And like, it's the confidence I've gained has helped me in my day-to-day life. Like, it's helped me in job interviews and all that sort of stuff. So I definitely recommend just giving it a go. What's the worst that can happen?
What do you reckon, Alistair? What would you say to year sixes that are coming to Billanook next year in year 7 about maybe having a go here?
Yeah, well, the opportunity's here, so I think that you may as well give it a go. Like, if you don't like it, you can just not do it. But
Try something else.
Yeah, but as Amy said, the confidence boost, like even socially, when you're talking to your friends, you feel so much more confident. And in classes, you're more likely to put your hand up and just give it a go.
So you see that it transfers across your learning
Yeah.
into other areas too. Taylor, what would you say to people about, you know, maybe those people that might want to be on the front of the stage but might find a space somewhere else? What would you say to them?
I'd say just try it. There's no harm in trying, and I've made so many friends across year levels. Every year I make more and more friends just doing this.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things I really notice is that there's a really tight community, isn't there, with people that are involved in this space, and it's really lovely to see members of our broader community feel part of a community within that community, isn't it? Because they're, you know, our performing arts curriculum is wonderful and students feel really connected to it as well. So I hope you've enjoyed having a chat to Amy, Mr. Cotton, Alistair and Taylor. Performing arts at school here is such an important part of our life. It adds a richness to our school, and I would encourage anyone that might even be thinking about coming into this space to come and have a go. So thanks very much, and thanks very much for being part of this Principal's Message.